This message brought to you by Chicanos por la Causa.
Órale, familia, friends, fans, and followers. You tuned into LA Boulevard News, a Latino USA and TV media production, your award-winning TV streaming platform. We bring you your stories, your experiences, and in your spaces. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our sponsor, Chicanos por la Causa, for their strong support in making this possible. I have a very, very interesting guest here today. I'm excited to introduce you to my guest, a close friend, a close brother of ours here, and he has a very interesting story. But before I set that up, I want to be able to tell you, this message is going out to you. If you're listening today and you're tuning in, you are tuning in to a very special program. I'm very excited about our next guest, and he's a special guest. His name is Ray Perez. How you doing, Ray?
Good, Art. Thank you. First and foremost, thank you and your staff for having me here today. It's a great opportunity to be here, and I look forward to having this conversation with you.
Thank you very much, bro. And we've been setting this up and waiting for this opportunity because it is an opportunity for us to be able to hear your story. You got a great, amazing story, and let's get into that. Let's dive right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and your family and where you're from?
Yes, sir. So I was born in Bellflower, California. My younger years were spent Cudahy, Maywood, Bell, southeast Los Angeles area. Mom, dad, sister, small family with a ton of cousins, uncles, aunts, and, extended family. My younger years, I was very active out in the community playing sports. I learned how to water ski, snow ski, and ride dirt bikes at a very, very young age.
Really? Good. Yeah.
Overall, a lot of good experiences, but also I was exposed to the elements at a young age. And, and with that being said, I had to live life on life's terms and make some decisions in my life at a young age. Always not the best choices, but, I learned from them.
Yeah, that's the interesting part of our upbringing is that there's so many different elements and we're exposed to so much. And some of us choose one path and another chooses another path. But what path chose you?
Growing up where I grew up at, especially as a youngster, peer pressure, being the predator, prey type deal, I didn't want to be the weak youngster, and me and my friends on the block, we try to be tough, we try to protect ourselves. Yeah, we were surrounded by the gangs and just, that life out there, and that was rough. Now today, those same kids that lived on the same block as me, two are dead and two are doing life in prison. I'm very thankful for my mom being the glue in the family and moving us out of that to the San Gabriel Valley, for my teenage years.
Yeah, I thank God for strong moms and that watch over us and they know us better than we know ourselves. And, they told me, my parents told me, hey, you either go to the army or go to jail or you're going to end up dead. So I had a choice. We all have a choice. You can either go to jail or you can go to Yale. You could either go to the Penn or you can go to Penn State. That's your choice. But we're here to tell you that there's a way out for you. And why don't we talk about that?
Yeah, so mom and dad did the best that they could. They were human, but there's alcohol and other things involved in the immediate family dynamic. My parents got divorced, when I was 12, 13 years old, and that's when I chose to run to the streets. Even though we moved, I took me with me, right?
Come on.
And hanging out with the youngsters, getting in trouble. My teenage years, man, just trying to be that little tough youngster, getting kicked out of high school, freshman year, getting into a lot of trouble, different programs, struggling a lot with drugs, throughout my teenage life. I love school so much that I did the 5-year program, but many failed attempts at high school, the placement programs, probation, POs, all that stuff, man, and, but eventually I kept my head in the game, and eventually I was able to graduate after 5 years, graduate from continuation school, and that's when I took went to go see a recruiter to see how we can go about me joining the military. And I went to court, let the judge know, hey, man, I'm serious about this.
Right, right.
You know, the judge was like, are you sure you wouldn't rather go to the county for a few months? I was like, no, I'm ready for that change. So they sealed my juvenile record, and off I went to go be a soldier in the United States Army.
Well, thank you for your service, brother. Congratulations. And I'm dressed up today in honor of you and the veterans and all those who laid their lives down and gave us the service and their time in the service. So you went from that experience into the military, and you did how many years?
3 years in the military. I did one term, 36 months.
Your story is, you're telling my story, brother. Everything that you went through, I went through the same thing. And I don't know how many out there are experiencing the same thing. We all have that same story and experience in space, but it's told through your lens. And you have the choice to be able to do something with your life or not. I left as a child. I left as a young spoiled brat, and left as a kid and came back a man. And the military changed me. The military gave me tools for life.
Right.
And so that was part of your recovery? Is that where your recovery started?
Well, I'm going to the military, again, always, trying to be high speed, always trying to prove myself as a youngster growing up. So when I went to the military, I wanted to do all the hardest stuff they had, and at the time, I was able to be an infantryman, go to airborne school, go to air assault school. So next thing you know, I go from troubled youth to jumping out of airplanes, rappelling out of helicopters, and just, that adrenaline rush. That's what I live for, and I spent 16 months in a small infantry camp that separates the two Koreas, on the DMZ up there. That's what was going on during my time. There was times where tensions would get a little high, and other times where we were just sitting there, But after that, I did what I did out there, and coming home is really when the war started mentally. That transition from the military to civilian was very difficult for me. The military trained me to be a soldier, this and the other, and I wasn't taught how to become a civilian. Now I'm a veteran. What is a veteran? Who is a veteran? So throughout my life, my childhood, my young days as a young soldier, I chose to self-medicate. I chose to drink or do drugs to numb the pain of reality. That was my go-to. That's what I'd go to so I wouldn't have to deal with life. And readjustment was very hard. Yeah. It was very hard for me, to say the least. Yes, I ETS, I served honorably and all that. And to everybody on the outside, wow, what an honor. Look at what this young man did. Right. But I was broken on the inside. Iraq war is going on now. I'm losing battle buddies and friends overseas, and I'm not there to help them. I had the wife and the children, and it just wasn't working out, man. And I chose to self-medicate, downward spiral. I had it all, I lost it all. Lost the children, lost the home. I ended up street living out here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's the hard part, and it takes us into a dark place. And folks don't realize that for veterans coming home, it's not easy. Right. For some veterans coming home, it's not easy to readjust. And you went into that dark space, and you went into that dark place. Were you there long? How long were you there before you came out?
It was a few years. There's this whole stigma about putting your pride to the side and asking for help. We're taught, suck it up and drive on, man up. Yep. But I didn't know what was going on mentally. I didn't want to have these disabilities identify who I was. I didn't want to say I had PTSD or this or that. So again, that bottle is where I found myself at, and it took years of rehabs, multiple rehabs, overnight stays in the jailing system, a few days in the jailing system here, there. And I was in and out of homeless shelters here in Los Angeles. And finally, I moved to Arizona. Again, just going back to like when I was a child, moving, out of Southeast LA to San Gabriel Valley, moving to Phoenix, I took me with me. So the problems began there immediately as well, and there was a day in 2012 where I was in a complete blackout, high-speed chase, crashed, assault on police officers, all kinds of stuff, man. And, I was like, all right, this is it. Yeah. I woke up in jail, man. I asked the judge, did I kill anybody? No, all right, I'm going back to sleep. Yeah. And again, mind you, this is about 20 rehabs in already, man. So I tried to get my life back together, but the dis-ease not the disease, but the dis-ease of addiction took a toll on me, and that's where I was at.
And it's, we're in that place and we don't want to be there and we want to come out of it. We don't want to be that guy. We know that there's more to life. We know that there's more for us in life, and we don't know how to change. So where was that changing moment for you, that recovery part?
That recovery part started on my last violation. I don't know if Arizona, Phoenix, super hot.
Yeah.
Being homeless, street living out there on 12th and Madison, it was extremely hot. So finally, when I went to jail, I was like, all right, man, I got air conditioning, I've got all this, I could program here. It's just like the military.
Right.
So I tell a lot of veterans, be careful on the choices you make, because going to jail is just like being in the barracks. Different uniforms, still being told what to do, and it could become, you could get very comfortable in the jailing system, to say the very least.
So out of that, you started a foundation.
Yes, and this was down the road. Just to touch back on the day that I did throw in the towel, I surrendered on my last violation. Every time things started going good in my life, I had to stir the pot. I feel that up to this point in my life, I was addicted to chaos. I didn't know how to be at peace with myself.
Come on.
So I finally surrendered, and I said, you know what, God, I'm gonna just walk the walk now. No more coming, no more reaching out for my faith or anything like that. I'm in trouble, God help me. This time I'm gonna just walk the walk. And that's the first time that I did it for me. Every other time I did it for the ex, I did it for the children, I did it for my family. For the first time in my life, I wanted to change because I wanted to change. And that's the time where I learned how to forgive myself for all the hurt, all the pain, all the blame, all the guilt and the shame that I have caused. Not only towards myself, but to my family. It's a ripple effect. And I hurt a lot of people along the way. Once I learned how to forgive myself, that's the day that the change happened. And that was August 22nd, 2013.
And it was so significant, you got it tatted, right?
Got it tatted so I'd never forget where I come from.
That's good, brother. So out of that, you came out and you made a change, you did a turnaround 360, and in closing, why don't you tell us about the foundation real quick?
Yeah, so I started walking the walk, a couple years into recovery. I started a nonprofit organization called Operation Restoring Veteran Hope.
Yeah.
It's to help my brothers and sisters that are struggling in this world to be the best version of themselves. The VA hired me at the same time. The VA hired me to go back to all the prisons, the courts, and the jails and help veterans that I had spent time locked up with. And veterans are saying, no, I was on the streets with him. I was locked up with that man. He's for real. Yeah. And because of that, I was able to share my life story at the White House. And, I became a member of Group Car Club in Phoenix. Today, I've dedicated my life to serving my fellow comrades, to serving those in the community that are struggling, and my nonprofit, my car club, they're all here. We're all here, one big family, doing the great work out in the community.
So it is possible to turn your life around.
It is possible. It's not easy, but it's possible. And again, many failed attempts at trying to get my life together. And today I could sit here before you and say that I've been clean, sober, and tobacco-free for 12 years.
Wow.
I'm also the president of Group Car Club. We're going on 55 years of our roots here in Los Angeles. And I live my best life every day, low riding on my motorcycles with my brothers, with my nonprofit brothers, and we're out there helping the community. We're out there representing, and it's great.
Yeah, you're right. That's how I met you. That's how I met you, and through the car scene and stuff. And you're a leader. You're a testimony, and you're a great example to our community and to anyone out there that needs help. And if Ray could do it, you can do it. And I want to thank you, Ray, for your story. There's so much more to your story. We're going to invite him back. We're going to have him back so that he can continue. And I appreciate your story. Thank you, brother, and for what you said and what you've done and the impact that you made in their lives, in our lives, and to those folks in the White House and to the president of this country. You're an asset, and you're vital, and your story's not over yet. There'll be more to come. Right. And I told you it'd be a great story, and I told you it'd be a great guest. I'm excited. I'm so excited. So as we finish here today, I want to say gracias from Los Angeles. This is your LA Boulevard News, the Latino USA TV and media production. Like, follow, share, and post. Tune in for more. This is your West Coast host, Art Limon, saying adios. And again, we want to thank our sponsor, Chicanos por la Causa, for the strong support in making this show possible. Hasta luego. Tune in and stay in for more. Adios.
Thank you.